Yo, what's going on, everybody? First AFCON stream. Hell yeah, we did it. We made it. Didn't die. Well, nearly died. I forgot how to do this. When was the last time I went live? It feels like it's been 6 years, but it hasn't. It's probably been a week. I finally got the setup ready. If you can't see, but I got a giant TV behind me, so it's pretty it's much better than the usual setup where I'm using either my own laptop screen or my girlfriend's laptop. Let me go ahead and not be a douche and pull up the score for you guys so we can follow along together. Damn, Equatorial Guinea lost. That is depressing. All right, let me share my screen here. Jack, what's your opinion on Tunisia versus Nigeria? That's a great question. I think Tunisia have completely changed national teams. I am used to Tunisia. I am used to them sitting back, really not trying too hard to attack and getting, like 1-0 victories, things like that. But I will say they now seem kind of incapable of defending. And attacking wise, they're pretty freaking good now. Hannibal, man, he was so freaking good yesterday, and I tweeted that. I said, no matter what happens, because I didn't think that Tunisia were going to win the game, but I said, no matter what happens, I just realized that my camera wasn't open all the way. And of course, Nigerians were like, he got bodied, and what was the score? And I'm like, you guys are just not very intelligent. Because I said, no matter what happens, I didn't say Tunisia were better. I didn't say that they should have won. I didn't say I am Tunisian. I just said that this one guy was a freak. And I was watching with my buddy. If you guys have been following Deball TV for a while, my buddy Chu, who is Nigerian. He's been on the channel maybe 3 times now to talk AFCON specifically. And he was like, number 10 is a problem. And I was like, this guy's a beast. And the longer the game went on, we were like, all right, yeah, somebody's got to foul this man. Like, just gradually, I remember I was like, yeah, check out Hannibal. He plays for Burnley. He's got a lot of caps for Tunisia, and he's pretty young. And my friend was like, okay. Like, yeah, I think I remember him at, last AFCON. And then the longer the game went on, he was like, this guy is an animal. And Burkina Faso in the box. Is that a pen already? Oh, my gosh. No, it's not. So Tunisia both impressed me in the sense that they can actually attack now, but I'm scared in the sense that do I think they could make a semifinal if their defense is that bad? Not really. Like, I've been shaken a little bit in terms of that. We got Albert says, watch him at 2:30 in the morning from Seoul. Albert, you've been at Itaewon Pocha, haven't you? Get some water, my man. I know you dehydrated. 3-1 for Burkina Faso. Algeria's been on the decline forever. Sebastian immediately counters by saying 3-0 Algeria. Guys, I'll be honest. If we get either team scoring 3 goals in this game, I will be flabbergasted. I thought the biggest dub of Nigeria-Tunisia last night was the fact that we got 5 goals in a game that included Nigeria and Tunisia. I can't remember the last time Tunisia got scored on 3 times. It was probably the World Cup, right? Who did somebody beat them badly? I don't remember that though. Maybe France beat the crap out of them. Maybe. I don't really remember. Faraso, hello Jack. Hope you had a good Christmas. Thank you, man. It was a pretty solid Christmas. It was a pretty solid Christmas. I think all the circumstances included, I had as good of a time as I could have had. I hope you guys had a good Christmas too. I wanted to go live for it. I just didn't have the energy. which I feel bad. I feel like I've done Christmas streams every year on the channel until now. But I did do a Thanksgiving one, so I kind of, ooh, that's a great ball down by Nori. And it goes out. Also wasn't Aiden Nori, it's number 13. I don't know where you guys are all located, but I'm in Houston and it is still disgustingly hot. I mean, I'm like sweating. I'm about to have to turn on the fan actually because this is way too much. So I'm going to wait for a foul or a VAR review or something and I'm going to turn the damn fan on. I don't understand. It's December 28th. How is it so freaking hot? Jack is part Mongolian, I think. It's possible. Our predictions are fried so far. Yeah. Yeah. My best prediction that I've made so far is probably how Senegal and DR Congo have done and Mozambique winning a game. I knew Mozambique were going to win a game. My other hotter takes, what other hotter take did I have? Thinking back, well, I had South Africa winning the group, which that's one of those predictions you make and you immediately regret, not because South Africa aren't good, but because you look at the pressure and who they had to play and you're like, I don't know about this. That is my worst group by far. Was that group B? I got Angola on 5. They got 1 point heading into the final match day, and they're going to play Egypt. So, are they going to play Egypt? Yeah, they're going to play Egypt. Maybe for them, Egypt will rotate, Angola somehow win, and then they make it through. I would say for being a non-African expert in basically every sense of the word, I think I've done okay. Also, in case anybody's wondering, the last 3 meetings between Burkina Faso and Algeria have all been draws. They've all been draws. And if you look at the all-time meetings, it's like 7 wins for Algeria, 6 draws, 6 wins for Burkina Faso. This is a completely 50-50 fixture. Does that pose well for excitement in this game? I'm honestly not totally sure. Are you doing Ivory Coast, Cameroon also? I will be watching it. I don't know if I'm going to go live for it because I want to film some more content. I haven't really filmed that much in the last couple days. Sunday is the Lord's Day. That is hilarious. It is the Lord's Day. Tunisia respected Nigeria more than they should have. Yeah, they didn't go at Nigeria enough. And when they did, they got 2 goals. Although I thought the handball was kind of BS. Would you say this has been the most predictable AFCON? 100%. 100%. I think it's the pitch. I think it's the pitch and the weather. It's not, there's not like a great equalizer anymore where one team can be more talented on paper at least and they gas out in the 60th minute because it's just so freaking hot and humid. And the other team is like, all right, like they're tired, go for it. I don't think we're going to see that at this entire tournament. So when you guys see my knockout predictions, it is going to be cold take after cold take. I'm not really going to have a lot of screamers on there because I don't think this AFCON is going to follow that script. And this is something that maybe if you're like an AFCON or African football expert, maybe you could have foreseen. Like maybe you could have seen this coming. But I'm not. So I don't know how to draw a parallel between, let's say, Cameroon 2021 and this one. And like, had there been less upsets all time when it's hosted in Egypt, Algeria, Morocco because of the infrastructure like that? I don't know. Oh, VAR is looking at something here. I mean, that's not a red card. That's ridiculous. That's not a red. This is ridiculous. How are we even looking at this? It's a hard foul, but okay, hold on, guys. I'm gonna turn the fan on while this is happening. Sorry. Back. You can tell I'm out of practice. I thought the holiday season was going to be really good for content and streams because I don't have work, but in reality, it's just been so many social obligations that I haven't had the time to make some of the videos that I really want to, that are just sitting there like in the idea phase. And I'm like, when am I actually going to do that? And I think today's the day. That's why I'm not going live for Ivory Coast, because I'm going to record it and then I'm going to make the videos that, I've kind of had loaded in the chamber. And then maybe, do more consistent live streams. But yeah, your boy is I'm taking off. I'm leaving Houston on Wednesday, so I won't be here too much longer. And then we'll be abroad again. Can any CONCACAF team win the AFCON? No. No CONCACAF team could ever win the AFCON. And the reason that no CONCACAF team could ever win the AFCON is because no CONCACAF team has ever demonstrated the ability to go round for round with teams of the AFCON quality. That has never happened. This is one of the videos that I want to record soon, is looking at the Asian Cup versus the Gold Cup versus the AFCON, maybe even versus the Copa America. Like, I think I got to throw that in there as well, just to see and get the full picture. But if you look at an AFCON, reason number one why a CONCACAF team wouldn't win is because you probably have to beat 2 World Cup caliber teams minimum to make it to the final or to win the tournament. 2, but oftentimes 3. Like, if you look at Ivory Coast run in 2023, they beat Nigeria, or they faced Nigeria twice. Senegal, what other big team did they beat? Was it DR Congo or maybe South Africa in the semifinals? It was an incredibly difficult path. I can't remember every single knockout opponent, so forgive me, but that's reason number one, is you're never going to see a pathway like that at a Gold Cup. It just cannot exist because there are not enough teams that are good enough. The hardest path you could possibly have at a Gold Cup, shot comes in from Nigeria, but it's flaccid, and my grandmother could have put more power behind it. It's a good cut in by number 22, though. The hardest path you could probably ever have is probably Panama semifinal, USA final, or Canada semifinal, Mexico final, or some combination of that. But you will never have to play Canada, Mexico, USA. It's impossible due to seeding. Like, it just will never happen. They will always be on opposite ends of the bracket. So if you're on Mexico's bracket, you got to go through them. If you're on the States bracket, you got to go through them. AFCON, everything gets blown up because there's also, reason number 2, an additional round with third place teams that go in. And sometimes the third place teams aren't incredible. Like, they might be a Mozambique, for example, on this tournament. It might be a Benin, or it could be a Cote d'Ivoire. It could be the host. It could be the champions. Can you guys imagine a third place finishing CONCACAF side winning the Gold Cup? It would never happen. Who would that even be? That would be like Honduras or something. Honduras finished third, I think, 2023. Suriname, I think, finished third last time. Haiti this time around got third. Can't remember the entire group stage. Curaçao was third as well. That would never happen. There's also the entire talking point of winning a tournament away. And if you look at the history of Mexico, the United States, Canada, and winning tournaments away from home, the only tournament that Mexico won away from home is the Olympics in 2012, I believe, when it was in London. I think it was 2012 Olympics. That's the only tournament that Mexico's won abroad. I'm not considering winning tournaments in the United States as abroad because Mexico is the home team, and that is a technicality that if somebody wants to fight me on it, you just know that you don't have a better counter argument, so you're going to call the United States away. But it's not for Mexico at all. And we know this. This is well documented and agreed upon. I've been to the games. Trust me, it's sold out. It's green every single time. And then probably Canada back in the 2001 Gold Cup. Was that when they won? 2002 Gold Cup when they beat Colombia in the final? And again, is the United States really this hostile, different, difficult place to go and play? No, it's vanilla toast. That's why people go there in part, outside of the infrastructure and the sponsorships, is it's not really like a hostile environment. You don't have to go to Cameroon. You don't have to go to South Africa. You don't have to go to Egypt. It's a completely different ask. And we've never seen a CONCACAF team able to win in all of those circumstances. Tougher teams, longer tournament, not hosting. We've never seen that happen. So to say that Mexico or the USA would just win this, like, could they maybe have one AFCON amongst them all time? Yeah. Yeah, assuming that they got to host every once in a while as well. Yeah, I think Mexico or the United States hosting an AFCON would have a fighting chance. I don't think it would be impossible. But let's say they got the same opportunities as like a Morocco, for example, who they haven't hosted since the 70s when they won, 76, I think. Morocco has one AFCON all time. And they go to World Cups often out of Africa. Tunisia, I think, have one as well. They might have two, but I think they just have one also when they hosted. Ain't no way Mexico wins the AFCON in Morocco, though. No way they win in Ivory Coast. Just ain't going to happen. CONCACAF is a bubble, guys. It's 100% a bubble. Mahrez gets fouled here pretty hard. Nothing has happened in this game at all, by the way, which is why I'm entertaining this. Can any CONCACAF team win the AFCON question for so long? Not because I don't want to comment on the game, but really nothing has happened. It's just kind of Burkina Faso sitting back and Algeria kind of prodding, but they don't really have a midfield presence right now. Hey, Nori's on the ball. Okay, this is who you want, though. Cross comes in and it's blocked. And I know I didn't respond to any comments while I was on that tirade, but let me see what people think. Not even Panama with Coco Carrasquilla. I would love to see Panama at an AFCON because I do think they would make the knockouts, but they don't beat really good teams that often. They kind of have the USA's number, but they cannot beat Mexico. And the record against Canada isn't great either. And even against Jamaica, it's kind of like leaning in Panama's favor, but it's not a slam dunk. And Jamaica gets slaughtered at this tournament. Africa is 5-2-3 versus CONCACAF, and 5-5-21 versus South America. What makes the Copa America more difficult is that you will have to beat a top 3 national team in the world at some point. Oh, penalty. Penalty drawn by 8 Nori. It's a good little dummy shake. He hit him with a... I mean, he danced on him. I can't even lie. Burkina Faso's upset, but I mean, y'all got cooked. Like, I don't know. It's a nutmeg pass inside the box. 8 Nori come. Ooh. I mean, he takes out his knee. I don't really know. There isn't some embellishment though. I mean, that Aiden already threw himself on the damn ground. But I don't really know if the World Cup all-time record really tells the full story. Like, there's also so much context missing there. And BC, I know this because you like to hate on Asia because of how Asia does versus CONCACAF, when most of those results are from the 70s, 60s, when Asia did not win a game at the World Cup until 86, I think. Not counting, I think maybe Indonesia or India. I think it was Indonesia might have won a game in like the 30s or something, but I mean they were terrible up until 94. They were pretty horrific. So the historical numbers are always going to be exaggerated. Like that doesn't tell the whole story. I'm more concerned about like what does the record look like in the last 10 years, or what does the record look like all time? Excuse me, not all time, but like last let's take the last 50 meetings regardless of opponent and then tally up the score here. Here's Algeria's penalty. Mahrez tucks it away. I really feel nothing about that because this game has been trash. So congratulations to Algeria for the goal, but this is not exciting at all. Which three AFCON team that haven't went to the World Cup would you like to see as a fan and competitor? Which that haven't been to a World Cup? That have never been? I don't think I know the full list of African countries who haven't been to a World Cup. If we're talking about teams that are at this tournament that aren't going that I want to see, I mean Nigeria for sure. Another team that I think like I'd really like to see. I think Zimbabwe have been fun. And maybe that I've seen and really liked. That's probably it. I honestly couldn't give you a third. Shout out to Mozambique, but nah. Is there a direct correlation between transfer market value of a nation and its success? I don't know because I don't know the squad value of every single national team, but I'm willing to bet there is a correlation. Is it direct? No, probably not. But what it probably tells you is that a squad with an incredibly tiny valuation rarely is going to qualify for the World Cup or win tournaments. Like, for example, Qatar's squad valuation's got to be like 20 million, and they've won back-to-back Asian Cups and qualified for the World Cup. Once on merit, once by hosting. Relatively speaking, this is a really good counter from Burkina Faso. Finally, they're doing something. Oh my gosh, this game has sucked. This has been a bore and a half. Ball inside the box. 18. That's a great step. Oh my gosh, what a recovery. What a recovery from the center back. Tapsoba's going to step up and just launch it. What was I saying? Relatively speaking, Qatar's squad valuation is probably, if I had to guess without looking, 9th in Asia. 9th. They're probably 9th. I bet it's lower than Iraq. So it's not very big in accordance to the rest of Asia, and globally speaking, it's tiny. But they've won Asian Cup, so there's definitely outliers. However, could you be like 20th in squad valuation inside CAF and win? My mind immediately goes to Zambia. What was Zambia's transfer market value when they won under Renard? I don't know what it was. Was it outside the top 10? I would bet that it was. I would bet that they were not a top 10 valuable team. I don't even know if they were top 15 because I can't name you too many Zambians. And I certainly couldn't name you many Zambians 13 years ago, or I think they won 2010, 2012. 2012, I think they won. So there's definitely a correlation that the better your players, the more successful you're going to be, but there's not a correlation in the sense that the more money your squad is worth, the more trophies you have. I wouldn't say that. I mean, look at Panama. Panama inside of CONCACAF, I mean, their squad valuation is significantly less than Jamaica. And yet, if you look at the success of the two teams over the last 10 years, it's definitely Panama have been the more successful team, for sure. So correlation, yes, it helps. It's like, it's like the coach or the manager has more weapons available. That's basically what the transfer market valuation is kind of saying. Like you have more weapons available than a team that's more broke. You're bringing more guns to the gunfight, but it doesn't mean you're going to win the gunfight. Bro, Mexico's made it to 2 Copa America finals and close to winning it. No way they can't win an AFCON. I mean, Oscar, you're not factually incorrect. Ooh, shot comes in from Burkina Faso. They're starting to actually like move now, which is cool. Maybe I'll have to transition to more commentary during the game here. One of those was the Colombia Copa America, in which nobody took it seriously and brought an A team, and teams actually withdrew because of how dangerous it was due to narco violence, and we didn't win. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that. And our other Copa America final, it's a great achievement to get there, but we haven't won. We haven't beaten an elite team in a final. We would absolutely have to do that in an AFCON. Like I said, is it impossible for Mexico to win, especially being the host? No. But I don't think either the United States or Mexico would have more than one AFCON. I don't think they'd have more than one AFCON all time. Because I would assume that they're not hosting it every single time either. Oh my gosh, I'm 13 minutes behind in the chat. I knew this was going to happen. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The North Africa versus rest of Africa talking point is all over my Twitter algorithm because of the vibes of the tournament. M Kid, are you I'm curious. I know you commented this 12 minutes ago, so I apologize for just now bringing this up, but I wonder if you agree with that. Do you actually think the vibes are different, or do you think this is like a media spin to, I don't know, poop on Morocco? Like, do you think this is a hit piece that people are saying this, or do you actually agree? I will say there's a ton of Algerians here, but they are a North African team, so that's kind of to be expected. Jack, can AFCON teams be invited to the Gold Cup? Oh my gosh. 21 in the box. That's a great tackle, man. Which Algerian center back is that? I got to figure it out. What's his number? He's had a very good game. I think it's 23. Let me learn this guy's name because my man deserves it. He's absolutely cooking right now. Technically, the answer is yes, but they would have to have availability in their calendar. Oh, it's Ben Sibani from Dortmund. Yeah, 21, not 23. Yeah, dude, man, he's had some great. Ben Sibani's had 2 very important tackles in this game already. Mexico owned African teams up until 2010, and then suddenly African teams became good. I think the rest of the world has gotten better, dude. I think it's undeniable. More money, more infrastructure. I don't know Mexico's all-time record against African teams in the 80s, and I don't think many of us were alive to watch those games. So that stat's probably true. Mexico does have. I honestly, as a Mexican fan, I've never been afraid of African teams at a World Cup. Mahrez draws a dangerous free kick here. I've never seen an African team in Mexico's group and be like, "Oh no, like we're done here," you know? If anything, I've been excited, really excited, because usually it's a very good game. So, but there's a difference, guys, between Mexico beating Cameroon in a World Cup group and beating 3 different African teams on the way to a final. Hopefully, even if you disagree with me, we can all agree in that sense. That is a very different ask. Hey, man, I'm a new viewer of yours. I want to know, have you changed your favorite to win the AFCON after the first 2 rounds? Appreciate you saying that, Ahmed. Glad to know that somebody thinks my content isn't ass cheeks. Um, no, my favorite is still Senegal. Everything I thought about Morocco is true so far. Moroccan media's turned on them. The performances haven't been great, but guys, I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, let them get to the knockouts before we crucify them. In my opinion, the second best team that I've seen so far. I think Nigeria have gone up my power rankings to win. I'm about to learn a lot in this game and also Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon later. That's a big one for me to watch. Egypt are kind of creeping up there too, man. The ability to win ugly is how you win tournaments, and they've kind of done it twice. Zimbabwe, they ran them over, but South Africa was ugly, really ugly. You got to be able to win like that. But still, I think Senegal have actually created space between them and the rest of the field. It's a good cross in. Prime Costa Rica could have won an AFCON. I don't know about that, Oscar. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking there's too many penalties at this AFCON? No, I don't think you're crazy at all for that. I think there's a lot. Dutch East Colonies, thank you. I'm still 10 minutes behind the chat. I thought it was South Korea who beat Italy. They did, if you're talking about the 2002 World Cup. If Egypt make the final, would you come to Egypt? I'm going to go to Egypt regardless, but I'll say yes to add some extra spice and drama to this. Definitely. I have a trip after the World Cup that we're kind of thinking, like, do we go to Asia or do we just do North Africa and in the Middle East? Like, what kind of region, what kind of vibe are we going for? I'm very excited about Asia, of course, because, well, my possible lineage, but also going to the Middle East and going to North Africa would go so hard. Like, I'm super excited for Morocco. I'd be hyped for Egypt. I really want to go to Jordan. I'd love to go to Iraq too if I can get in. And I'll be traveling with my girlfriend too. So I don't know how the Argentine passport travels inside the Middle East. This is a really good ball over top. My goodness, what a peach. What a peach. Unfortunately, Algeria is no number. Oh, 22 in the. Oh my gosh. No way, bro. 8. Oh my gosh. Was that Mohamed Moura? Yeah, it was. He absolutely skied that. Where does the attacking midfielder play for? Ibrahim Massa, Leverkusen. Okay. Interesting. Do you think CONMEBOL is going to merge their qualifiers for 2030 with CONCACAF? No. Merge it? No. Nations League? Possibly, because it would be hella money. Permanently or rotating merger for Copa America? Yes, I do think that will happen. The money is too much for the South American teams to say no. That's all they care about. Alejandro Dominguez, the president, clearly wipes his ass with the integrity of the tournament or with the sanctity of South American football. If the dollar signs are right, he will make the call to permanently include CONCACAF sides. And as somebody who supports a CONCACAF nation, as well as being American, I want to see the United States in the Copa America too, because I think it's just fun. For me, that's a dub. Oh, this guy looks interesting. 21 for, that's a foul and a half. Yeah. I think Amura gets taken down there. I'm neutral to this North Africa versus the rest of the Africa thing because it's my first complete AFCON I'm watching. Okay, totally valid. Totally valid. I've seen others. I've been watching AFCON since like pretty closely since 2017, even 2015, when Ghana should have won on a penalty shootout and then completely folded against Ivory Coast. That I didn't watch that one closely, but I watched the final. I do think the vibes are better in sub-Saharan Africa, from my experience. But to be fair to Morocco, some of the tweets I was seeing explain that travel is a bit more restricted in North Africa, and maybe the cost as well is higher, so that the average fan isn't able to attend. It's not necessarily Morocco's fault. It's just could be supply and demand. It could be diplomatic issues. I don't know. I don't think this has been a bad AFCON, though. I don't look at this and say, oh, Morocco should never host again. I'm not going to be one of those people. They should eliminate the Gold Cup and only play the Copa America with 24 teams, 10 from CONMEBOL, 14 from CONCACAF. The Mexico and the United States would never allow this to happen. Especially Mexico would fight this to the death, because this is the only trophy that Mexico wins, really. I mean, I know we got one Nations League, but if you end the Gold Cup is the reason that Mexico are top of the list of countries with the most international trophies. If I was 18 years old, I would completely agree with you, and I'm not trying to be like a dick, like you're saying that you're thinking like a child. I'm saying back when I was 18, I thought that football federations made decisions for the betterment of the team, for the sake of preparation, for the sake of competition. But they don't. They do it for money and convenience. And so Mexico would not do this because it is not convenient to Mexico's reputation. Mexico would not win a Copa America for the next 20 years if this happened, which means no international trophies. Maybe CONCACAF Nations League stays around and they would have a chance there. But this would be damaging to Mexico's aura to be cringe and use it like that. Same with the United States. So while I think competitively that'd be a good idea, I also I do like the Gold Cup. I know I poop on it sometimes, but I'm really trying to not do that anymore. Free kick here. It's horrific from Burkina Faso. The big boys of CONCACAF would not allow that to happen. And the tiny CONCACAF teams would get slaughtered as well. Like Guatemala's not doing anything at a Gold Cup, or excuse me, at a Copa America. Gabon flop of the AFCON. I did not watch the Mozambique game because it was at 6 o'clock in the morning and I needed sleep. But they're just disappointing. I don't really expect anything from Gabon ever. I think I had them in second, but on 4 points. Because I had everybody on 4 points in that group. So I don't really rate them, and I think they would lose their first knockout game. They're just not good. I can show you around. The whole trip wouldn't cost more than 200 max. Dude, Pula, we're definitely linking up in Egypt. And 200 is in my budget, so I would really appreciate that. My only ask is that I get to ride a camel that is armored, like a war camel. And I want a spear. That would be like my top tourist thing. Like pyramids, war camel? Cataphract camel? I'm in. Jack, you should visit Tunisia. I actually almost did this. Guys, I was this close to going to Tunisia in a month. But instead, we decided to do, we're going to go to Hungary instead. What worried me about Tunisia was I work remote, so I was kind of nervous what I was reading about the internet speeds from certain people. But that North African trip that I mentioned earlier would include Tunisia. We would go to Tunis, 100%. But instead of being in a month, that would be after the World Cup. What's going on, Matt? Where are you going to be for the World Cup, Jack? I'm coming to the States, but exclusively West Coast. Matt, that's a great question. I'm going to be in New York as the home base, but I may be in Texas as well for certain parts because, well, I grew up here, but also there's a lot of games in Houston and Dallas. It kind of depends on me sitting down, looking at the schedule, looking at ticket prices, and seeing what I can kind of piece together. But I will be on the opposite side of the country. That's freaking awesome that you're coming over here, though. Have a blast. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, off the post. I don't even think Zidane saved that. I think it just went off the post. Oh, that was Burkina Faso's best chance of the half. Oh, is that a handball? I mean, by the letter of the law, it looked like a handball. It looked like a handball. They've been calling it every single freaking time this tournament. I wonder what language they're speaking to the players. English? I'm assuming they're speaking English. Because why would the Burkina Faso players speak Arabic? Oh. Anyways. Yeah, Matt, you have a great time, dude. If I got some friends in LA, if you want to meet up, if you need some connections. How is that not a handball? Hold on. Oh, it's off his face. Never mind. Never mind. I'm Ahmed. My phone died. That's hilarious. Jack once again light years behind. Yeah. Okay, so FM is responding to me saying Senegal are still my favorites. Aged Mane and Koulibaly with Jackson leading the line for the best African team. This is the thing with Senegal. They will live and die by Nicholas Jackson, which is terrifying. The Koulibaly thing, bro, he's been a beast this tournament. Like, I get it. He's older, but he's also a center back. You get to be a little bit older and it's okay. Like, he looks very good. I'm not watching Koulibaly and thinking like, man, he fell off. His age showed up a little bit more in that Brazil friendly. That was the first time I was like, oh, he looks like, him also leaving Europe to play in Saudi Arabia might have kind of caught up to him a little bit. But at the AFCON, they're not going to see a team that good, or at least not that robust in their attack. Who's going to attack Senegal like that? No one's going to go at Senegal like that. Nobody, because nobody has the balls to, and nobody has the players either. So I don't think Koulibaly is going to get exposed. And I don't think Senegal look perfect, but they have a very good team. They got difference makers off the bench, and they are very tough, very, very tough to beat. You could throw DR Congo on that list of teams that, who's going to be able to beat these guys. Nigeria, here's the thing. I don't think Tanzania was a very excellent game. I'd probably give them a 7 out of 10 grade. And then against Tunisia, they scored what? No, they scored one set piece, I believe. They scored one corner kick. There were a couple other opportunities they definitely should have scored, and they led Tunisia back in the game. So I said that Nigeria have gone up. They've definitely gone up in my power rankings. I would have had them like 6th to win. I'm probably bumping them to 4 right now. Maybe even 3, again, depending on what Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire look like. Algeria, I mean, I'm watching this and I ain't really seen a damn thing. I don't see title contender here. I don't. I see tough team to beat in the knockouts, but I don't see title contender. Same thing with Burkina Faso. Oh, Zidane with a questionable. Okay. Morocco, they look very tough again. But I don't watch them and think oh, these guys are going to be impossible. There's not a lot of creativity down the middle for Morocco. They've become very predictable to defend, in my opinion. And the back line, who's the one center back that came in for Ramon Saiz when he got injured? That guy sucks. The guy is terrible. You can't have a center back like him. He's a huge liability. And respectfully, they haven't. Mali are good, but Mali don't have like a ton of offensive firepower, and they're just like blitzing teams. That's just not really who Mali is. When they play a really good African attack, how are they going to keep a clean sheet? I don't see it for them. The good news for them is Hakimi might come back in the third group stage game. But even that, like, Mazraoui's been good. Do you put Hakimi as like a right mid? Like, I don't know. I think Amrabat's been very mid. Unaki hasn't been as good as I was expecting. He hasn't been bad, but it's not 2022 World Cup. Unaki. Brahim Diaz has been good. Morocco looks solid. I still think they're making the semifinal. But do I think they're my favorite to win? They weren't my favorite coming in. They're not my favorite now, based on what I've seen. I saw your video on AFC Nations League format. Smart approach, but limited in terms of impact, I think. Do you think copying the traditional European model is also good for AFC? Ball in. No. No. I think it needs to be different. I think Asia has way too many teams. The traditional European format, go into a quarterfinal, and then you play 2 games, and then it's a semi, and then a final. I think what's likely is that Asia's going to do that. I don't think any of these federations have any ounce of innovation in their bones. So they're going to do whatever everybody else is doing, likely copying the UEFA model. But no, I think the Nations League sucks because the Nations League doesn't have a ton of drama. Nobody cares about the Nations League until like the final, arguably. There needs to be something to where the quarterfinals and the round of 16 even also have stakes. And I think if there's a round of 16 of the Nations League, if there's an extra round, I do think that adds a bit more glamour to the tournament. It makes it more difficult by law because there's now an additional banana peel for all the big teams. But they'll probably copy the UEFA one. I fully acknowledge that. They're not going to watch my video and be like, yeah, we should definitely do this. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Burkina Faso, almost another one. Algeria looking, they got to do something here, man. They got to get a shot on target. Mahrez is running. He's running. This has to be it is a really good shot. It's a great save, actually. It's a great save. I don't know if that's Amora with a shot, but at least they got a shot on target. That was the bare minimum they had to do there. It's a tough angle. It's a good save from the goalkeeper. It's a good save. I think Regegi is the problem. They literally have a CB world-class prospect on the bench, Ait Burial, but Regegi wants experience. I completely, trust me, man, as a Mexican national team fan, I completely understand what you are saying here. And it's really frustrating when managers want to go with the old mid-ass player than like the guy who could change the team. So many managers do this. It is so rare that a manager just throws a young guy in there and gives him a chance, especially in an AFCON or major tournament. This isn't a qualifier. This isn't a friendly. That is so rare. And that's why there's not a lot of truly elite international managers. I don't think he is an elite manager. I think it's a little bit easier in defense of him. It's a little bit easier from our perspective to be like, why doesn't he just play the young kid? But like the pressure that this guy is under must be. I mean, he knows if he doesn't win, he's sacked. He knows if he doesn't win, he's sacked. I guess I feel for him a little bit in that regard. And I don't think Morocco are as good as everybody else thinks they are. So I think the expectations have gone nuclear on these guys. When in reality they're a good team, but they're not Argentina level. They're not even close. They're not Brazil level. So they're not France. They're not England. They're not Spain. They're not Portugal. I know they beat Spain and Portugal last time. Those teams have gotten better. Morocco has not. That was 4 years ago. And one was on penalties. And I'm not trying to say that their run wasn't legitimate, but I'm saying a lot of people just look at results on paper, or they don't really pay attention to footy in general. They just watch the World Cups and they're like, well, Morocco got fourth last time, therefore they're the fourth best team now. And it's like, no, they're not. They're not. And they don't even play the same. The style is completely different than what they did during their successful run. You can't play like that and win the AFCON either. You got to go at teams. You're facing low block city all the way to the semifinal minimum. And then maybe you get in Algeria, God willing, that would be incredible. And maybe Algeria goes at you a little bit. But I don't even think Pekovic would do that. I think Pekovic would be like, no, we're going to sit back. We're going to counter these guys. Am I live for Ivory Coast? I'm not. I'm not going to be live for Ivory Coast. I will watch the game, but I want to film other stuff. Thoughts on John Herdman becoming Indonesia national team coach? I'm in favor of it, actually. I know a lot of people hated the move. I'm actually in favor of it. I think John Herdman is a solid appointment. I think he might not be the man for this stage of Indonesia, because this stage of Indonesia is going to be, they want to actually compete for stuff. They want to compete at the next Asian Cup. What I think he'll do is do well in qualifiers. I think in terms of getting to a World Cup, he's a good appointment. Is he a tournament guy? I can't really remember. I mean, obviously grouped at the World Cup. The Gold Cup, did they bring an A team? They did bring an A team. I think they lost to Mexico. We beat them 2-1 in the semis, which is to be expected. Extra time, I believe. Ache with the winner. I give it a B- B grade. I don't hate it as much as some people are saying. They're like, John Herdman, he's a stepping block or whatever. I'm like, but it's who is Indonesia getting? Who do y'all think you are? Like, you don't have pull at all in the international world. Nobody's looking at the Indonesia job, licking their lips like, oh yeah, man, when I get Indonesia on the resume, I'm taking off. Real Madrid next. You guys aren't like that. Nobody cares, really, respectfully. John Herdman is a World Cup qualifying coach with the Canadian men's national team. A Canadian men's national team that is significantly worse than they are now. It's a good hire. Yo, I love your channel. Great analysis of the game. Keep going, broski. I appreciate that, Benedict. Thank you. Sekdui breathing down Regegi's neck is definitely not helping. That's probably the Arab Cup manager. I don't remember his name. I don't have enough time in the day to remember the technical staff of different national teams. But yes, I do know that there is internal pressure as well from the federation. What's the reaction of your friends at Football Asada after watching South Africa this far in AFCON? I don't know if they've watched the games, but I know all I saw was a tweet from Chris saying that South Africa, I mean, honestly, I could probably pull up the tweet. Let me see what he said. Something about I'm supposed to fear South Africa when they can't even beat 10-man Egypt. Let me see what he said. I mean, Chris is a troll, so I'm not surprised by that. Let me see. He said, South Africa can't even get a point against 10-man Egypt on neutral field, but I'm supposed to believe they're going to get points versus Mexico at the Azteca. And to that, I would say he didn't watch the game, so you shouldn't take his opinion that seriously. Like, he checked FUTMob and was like, okay, And cool. Like, if that's what you want to do it. But I think South Africa got a very harsh penalty called against them, and I think they didn't get a clear penalty call. And I think they did well, and they finally lost to Egypt. Yeah, like it's gonna happen. What did y'all want them to keep their unbeaten streak up until the World Cup? Well, that means they win the AFCON, which I don't think they're good enough to do. So I think them and a lot of other I've seen some Mexican journalists who are like, South Africa, they play very fast. Like this is gonna be dangerous. I have seen a few of those tweets as well, but I've mainly seen these guys suck. You know, they're just mid. We're gonna beat them. Would Mexico beat Serbia? Mexico is capable of beating Serbia, yes. I don't think Serbia is good. He did more than the Arab Cup. Oh, he might have done stuff with the Olympic team or youth team. See, this is what I don't know about the technical staff. Do you rate Egypt's chance of winning AFCON highly? The gamesmanship could help. What is always going to benefit Egypt is that they know that they can win the AFCON. They have the most all time. So they always have that belief. And they also have the star players. It looks like the defense is better than what I was expecting. So, yes, I do rate their chances of winning the AFCON. And it's in North Africa. They don't have to battle, although they've always been kind of the geographically resistant side. They've actually won in Burkina Faso and other nations. So, yes, I would say they look good. They look good. They don't look great. Nobody looks unbeatable. That's why the knockouts are about to slap so hard. I feel like Burkina Faso could turn it around. They've been the better team, I think, from open play, so I agree with you. Do you think Graham Arnold's the right man for Iraq? I don't think there is a right man for Iraq because nobody can do what the fan base really wants with Iraq. It's impossible. They don't have the players. They don't have the personnel. But in terms of getting them to a World Cup, yes, I think Arnold is qualified to do that. I still do not think that he is an upgrade over Jesus Casas. I still have not seen any results from Graham Arnold that Jesus Casas could not achieve. Morocco, Tunisia ain't looking good, dead ball. Are you talking about like when they face each other or like overall they're not looking that great? Tunisia had a fantastic game against Uganda, but then they switched it up against Nigeria and they got punished. So I think the bright side for Tunisia is if you just go back to your match day 1 game plan, I mean, you scored 3 goals, probably could have had 5 against Uganda. You could have murdered them. And Uganda are solid. They're not bad. Jordan drew with Mali, who drew with Morocco's first team, but lost to Morocco's third team football. Yes, this is why, guys, that is exactly why you need to try to be as informed as possible and watch everything and then make a decision, make a prediction. Did I watch Jordan versus Mali? I think I watched part of it and it was so bad that I turned it off. It was 0-0 draw. I thought Jordan were good the entire Arab Cup, but that's how these things work, man. What do you think about Jonathan David's club situation? I think it's difficult. I think it's encouraging that Spalletti came out and kind of squashed the rumor that the players don't like him because Jonathan David is a quiet guy, which was stupid to begin with. But it's a difficult situation. He's a free transfer from a country that has no clout at a striker position going up against guys with very high transfer value who doesn't fit the mold of the typical 9 that his manager wants. It's a very difficult situation. But I still think he's a quality player, but maybe Juve wasn't the best landing spot. Hossam Hassan didn't want to play Brazil, didn't want to play friendlies in the summer, and didn't want to play the Arab Cup. Did he give a reasoning for that? Was he just like, I want to keep the squad fresh? I don't know. I don't have the context there. I haven't seen the quotes. If Jamaica somehow make it to the World Cup and make it out of the group, will you make an apology video? Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Jack, what was your thoughts on Egypt, on how Egypt performed versus South Africa? As an Egyptian, although we were down to 10, I truly fear how we would do if we gave that many chances to Belgium or Iran in the World Cup. Oh, if you're talking World Cup, I think Egypt's in big trouble. The good news is that Iran's defense is bad, so I expect Egypt to be able to score either from a set piece or from open play in that game. I really do. I think I still am going to favor Iran 2-1. I think Egypt at the World Cup has been a disaster. But, in terms of the AFCON, I think Egypt defended very well with 10 men. Conceded maybe two good chances to South Africa in the second half. It wasn't terrible from Egypt. And the counterattacks, even down to 10 men, still looked kind of scary as well. The disbelief in South Africa is justified despite the penalty that they were still unable to at least draw 10v11, and they only did 2v1 against Angola in a match even you said should have been a draw. Yeah, but this is what I've always said about South Africa is I don't think they can beat Mexico. I don't think they can. I don't think they're good enough, but I think they're good enough to get a draw. What South Africa is struggling with here is expectations. I don't think the world is going to expect South Africa to do anything at the World Cup, though. They're going to expect Mexico as the host to stomp. So I've never said, oh, South Africa, like they're going to beat Mexico 2-0. I've never said anything like that. In the context of how I expect the World Cup to go down, Mexico's going to have the ball. Mexico's going to go at South Africa, and we're going to be susceptible to counterattacks from them. And they do have pace. They do have good shooters on the team. They do have a good 9. So there's the threat there. I had the script, I had the outline for a video, but I had too much BS going on, so I didn't get to film it. Talking about like last minute AFCON predictions. And my flop of the tournament was going to be South Africa because we're expecting too much. We're expecting too much. Yeah, they beat Angola, or was it Angola? Yeah, they beat Angola 2-1. Didn't really play well. Didn't really play well against Egypt. That's kind of who these guys are, though. They don't always like slice and dice the opposition. They're not Senegal. They're not one of these teams. They're really solid, but we shouldn't look at them as if they're gonna annihilate teams. I think in the collab I did with Tactical Manager and Isaac has South Africa winning the group. I don't know if he had 7 points or what, but I'm like, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I think they can make it out of the group. I think I have them on 4, but I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a 7-point World Cup group performance from South Africa. Belbula, what's up? Says, what's up, Jack? I appreciate the AFCON coverage. I just want to push back on that. Morocco, I've been watching this team under Regegi stagnating for 3 years, and he's not helping by antagonizing people. Look, Belbula, you're definitely the Moroccan national team expert. I don't know everything that's been said by Regegi or all of the frustrating substitutions and tactical decisions he's made. So I definitely don't want to override you on that. I will concede immediately. I'm covering this AFCON not as an African football expert. And I think you guys all know that. Or I think most people know it because I always say it. I'm like, hey, I like African football. I'm not really in it that deep. Which is funny because then I'll get comments and people will be like, you have no idea about the history of African football. And I'm like, you're right. Or they'll be like, you don't know the history of Egypt. And I'm like, you're kind of right. In the sense that I don't know what they looked like in the 2008 AFCON. I didn't watch it. So, yeah, you're right. But I'm trying to get into it. So I'm covering the tournament from like that perspective. Somebody who's not an expert. I think I know how to read the game, but I'm not a scholar. And I haven't been following the African teams closely enough during qualification for this recent World Cup to tell you about all of their strengths and weaknesses. The African teams I know the most are the ones that have had international friendlies that I've been able to watch and see how they play, or the occasional, South Africa, Nigeria qualifier that I was able to watch because I found it to be exciting. Morocco, I don't know what they've really been doing since the Brazil friendly. I haven't really kept tabs on them because I thought that their qualifying group absolutely sucked. Like there was nothing in there that I wanted to see. They were winning every game 3-0, 5-0. So there probably has been a lot of tactical blunders, but someone like me who's not closely following the team wouldn't know because, yeah, we checked the score, we checked the highlights, and it's like, damn, they won 4-0 again? Okay. I guess Morocco are still good. And then we keep going. So I'm kind of reforming my whole opinion on these guys based on what I'm seeing at this tournament. Why does Algeria have a ladder that they run on? That is hilarious, by the way. I don't know if anybody else saw that. Jonathan David was poor under Tudor and Spalletti, and it's not like it's on the managers. He's missed a lot of sitters. He's missed a lot of sitters. Him and Tani Oluwase, Canada those guys can't score. Like they have to be fed chances to really have a big impact. Can this Algeria team beat Argentina? I'm not seeing that at all. Jack, is it likely Tunisia would bottle their second place spot to Tanzania in the final game since Tunisia are pretty down bad and Tanzania are playing better than we thought? I will be extremely disappointed if Tunisia bottled to Tanzania. I will be extremely disappointed. I do think Tanzania looked better than I thought, but Tunisia, like for pedigree alone, man, just go out there and get the draw. Like if you're scared of Tanzania, it's embarrassing, but just go out there and get the draw. Jack, do you think Petko sucks? I don't know. I think Petkovic is a good manager with Switzerland, but a lot of my Algerian, homies or the tweets that I see, the reaction videos I've seen, some love him and others think he is worse than Belmadi at the end. He's very controversial. And again, I didn't watch a ton of Algeria's qualifiers. Ironically, the one that I watched, they lost at home, but that was like early Petkovic, and I was told by many people that they had improved since then. So I said, okay, Petkovic is a tournament guy. Let's see how he does in the tournament. He is technically winning right now. He did win the first game against 10 men Sudan. I think I'm seeing, results-wise, I'm seeing what I expected. Performance-wise, not exactly. Not a scholar, but you were the chosen one. If I become the face of African football, I think something went horribly wrong. That's a great. I think The Rock has the players, just not the right game plan. Injuries to Ayman Hussein and Ali Al Hamadi. Yeah. The players are there to get it done. But they're not there to like win the Asian Cup or like win a qualifying group. Yet it seems like coaches get punished if that's not what they're able to do. I think Nori absolutely got fouled there, but it's okay. Algeria attacking quite well. Nori in the box. Ooh, he just like, this should be a shot. No, it's not. I don't think a tournament needs a lot of upsets to be great. I agree with you. We should praise Morocco for running the tournament properly. Amen, bro. Amen, Dom. I'm not trying to slander Morocco at all. I think they've done a great job. It's not their fault that, maybe travel costs to Marrakesh are more expensive or to Rabat. It's not their fault. Their job was to put on a tournament where nobody gets hurt. The pitches are good. Every team has a locker room with anything that they need to provide amenities. It's not their job to do anything else. Look at the cameras. Look at that. I mean, this is incredible from a hosting standpoint. They're doing their job. It's not their fault if other fans don't show up. Ugo Bruce is cooked for his comments on AFCON vibes. I don't know. Racism is still a big problem with Africa, but both ways. I'm sure it is a problem in Africa. I'm not sure if you're saying that sub-Saharan Africans don't want to go to Morocco because they're racist, or if you're saying that Moroccans won't let sub-Saharans in because they're racist, or both. I've never been to Africa, so I don't want to comment too much on the racial, what would I say, the racial standing of the continent. But from what my friends tell me, many of my friends are Nigerian, it ain't great. And I've seen my own comment section whenever I dare touch geopolitics, and it's pretty toxic. Mabula says, all good. Just wanted to give you the Moroccan point of view and why people in Morocco are panicking. Same scenarios in 2023. Here's a stat: 0 wins against a top 10 team in an official game since 2022. Belbula, does that include top 10 African teams, or are you talking like top 10 in all federations? Because there's a huge difference for me. If you haven't been a top 10 African side, that's shocking. Who even is the 10th best African side? How far do you see Algeria going in the World Cup? I see them round of 32. Yeah, I see round of 32. From what I've seen so far, this is round of 32. I don't see anything particularly special or particularly trash. Oscar says, super chat, bro. Can we collab once I grow my channel? Sure. Sure, why not? I didn't know you had a channel. But yeah, of course. I'm always down to collab. Top 10 African team. Oh, that is terrible. That is really bad. That is really bad. I wonder how many you've played, because that qualifying table was diabolical. 10th would be Mali or South Africa. Okay. Cameroon is 10th in Africa right now. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is why winning AFCON is hard. That's a crazy strong 10th best team in a continent. Guys, I'm gonna be right back. There's not too much going on. I'm just gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Oh. All right, what did I miss? Incredible football action? No, of course not. What did I miss, actually? Let's look at the stats here, y'all. Let's look at the stats. Let's see what is actually going on. What do the numbers tell us? Okay, so if you remove the penalty, the XG of both teams are actually the exact same, meaning it's a draw. Oh, this is dangerous from Algeria. They're just not really passing well at the back. That's not a foul on. I think Ben Sibani gets called for a foul here. That's a horrific call. That is a horrific call here. How is that a foul? Or that's not Ben Sibani. Who was that? They just got called for that. That was Ben Acer. Why on earth did he get called for a foul there? Tunisia is 54 after yesterday's performance. Sounds about right to me. Rakeki's an underdog merchant. He doesn't know how to be a top dog. Amrabat is a player for teams like Senegal and above. But he starts him every time. Oh, you're saying that he should only start him against better teams. I understand. Look at the chain worth 100K. Bros in the second story penthouse. That's hilarious. No, this is a bungalow Airbnb. What minute are you on? I'm on the pretty much the exact same time as what's on the screen. Are you watching the NFL games in split screen? I am not. Algeria performance in AFCON 2021 is the reason why Algeria is doing bad right now. Joe, I just heard my oatmeal finish. I'm gonna be right back. Hold on. This is when I really need a mic stand so that I can eat at the same time. You want to see what I'm working with here? Y'all think I got 3 houses and I'm eating oatmeal every day? It's like molten lava. I'm not eating that right now. You look like a Texans fan. Not at all. Not at all. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, 100%. Took 5 minutes of his time to go down 3 levels in the bunker mansion. You seem like a healthy person. I am pretty healthy. I like to snack, but I'm pretty healthy. I worked out and played footy yesterday, so I felt like I burned a lot of calories. It was like 6v6. It was actually so fun. 6v6. Field wasn't that small, so there's a lot of running, a lot of space. I drank like 6 gallons of water afterwards, and I still kind of had a headache from dehydration. Jack, how confident are you in Mexico smoking South Africa, considering South Africa looked very beatable against Egypt? Smoking, not confident at all. Beating, I think we can beat South Africa. Yeah. But I'm still going to stick with the draw. I want to see them one more time. How much protein a day are you getting? Yeah, I try to get like 150 grams. Maybe on some days I try to get like 170. I used to eat a bit more like when I was in Argentina full time because I would have a steak every freaking day. or when I actually rented an apartment long term in Texas because I would have like my protein powder. I'd have like my fridge was stocked. But when I travel all the time, I try to get like, yeah, 150 if I can. I'll buy protein shakes and protein bars if I need to, things like that. I hope Ivory Coast Cameroon isn't boring. Me too, man. It's hard to be active when it's this cold. Trust me, dude. I lived in Ohio for 5 years. I understand. It's not the coldest place on earth, but it does get cold. Just bundle up and run to the gym. Try not to slip on the ice. What I always hated is that the outdoor sports completely stop. That always made me very sad. Oh, that's I mean, it's a proper call, but what teams look like they have what it takes to go far in the tournament? I would say what I've seen so far, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Nigeria, ooh, 5 might be. Egypt right now. Tunisia 6. Those are my rankings as of right now. Equatorial Guinea finally ran out of AFCON juju, it seems. Yes. Yes, it does. Jack, what position do you play? Don't say bench because you're irreplaceable. Hell no. I'm starting the game. Center mid. Mahrez is off. I didn't really think Mahrez. Well, he hasn't really gotten a ton of space. He scored a penalty and he created a great chance for Mohamed Amora. So overall, in terms of what opportunities he had, I thought he did well, but he wasn't super dynamic in creating chances left and right. I like to play as an outside back, and I like to push up a lot, especially in like 8v8. I'm basically a winger or kind of like a second midfielder. I love that stuff. And I love defending. My favorite thing is when the other guy, oh my goodness, is when the other guy is like a dribble heavy winger. Oh, barbecue chicken, man. I freaking love that. I like it's like what did that guy say for the Cowboys when he got drafted by him? Like, I like seeing the joy for the game drain from their eyes. That's me. Like, I want the guy to not play football again for at least a month. I need him to be like, I need a detox. That was horrible. I would rather lock that guy down and he never even gets a shot off than score. I would rather have him quit the game and walk off the field than score 5 goals. Am I a psychopath? Maybe. But I just love it. I love humbling. It's one of my favorite things. Y'all probably think I'm evil, like Bane or something, but oh my gosh, that was a really bad shot, but it was a great opportunity. Come to Quebec, you will know what cold means. See, I don't really want to. Any country? Overrated player from any country? Hmm. Damn, that's a great question. Most overrated? Mm, maybe Takefusa Kubo from Japan. I do think he's overrated. Um. Oh, that's a great move. Trying to think of an African example since we are watching the AFCON together. Nobody's really coming to mind right now. Underrated? I'm tempted to say Hannibal Mejbri, I think is how you say his last name for Tunisia. I think is so good. But actually, I'm going to say Alex Iwobi from Nigeria. I think that guy is disgustingly slept on. Disgustingly slept on. For an Asian player that's underrated for me, Junya Ito, 100%. And now, probably as time has gone on, I think Hwang Inbom as well for South Korea. And Otabek Shukurov for Uzbekistan, definitely underrated. Nigeria will bottle it with their goalkeeper, dude. Dude, he looks so bad. I think that's a great take. Great defense from Ben Sabani again. He's had a good game. Are you the Uzbekistan Kevin De Bruyne? No, I'm more of like an 8. I can play a cam, but I prefer to be an 8. Do you support communism or socialism? No, I don't support communism. I support social policies, but you got to be careful with that because it can go south very fast. What about South America? Underrated and overrated? Overrated, Vinicius Jr. Underrated, Thiago Almada. Overrated. Overrated. Another guy who's overrated in South America. James Rodriguez, overrated. Underrated, Daniel Munoz. Yeah, that's what I would say. Oh my gosh. Algeria, do something. Oh my gosh, it's actually a good ball. Holy hell, man. Mesa had Amora wide open in the box. Just square it, dude. You're a freaking cam, man. That was awful. It should be 2-0. I'm a ruffian center back, right back. I'm tackling Jack in the first minute and shutting him down. That'd be funny. No, we're gonna do some subscriber games, hopefully in New York this summer. That's my goal. It's a huge goal of mine. Oh, look, Algeria wasting chances. I think I know the answer, but is Algeria looking stronger than Morocco? No, not for me. Is One Punch Man overrated or underrated? I think it's properly rated. I think it's properly rated. Everybody loves season 1 and then thinks that it kind of got worse, and I agree with that. Jag versus Pedri would be the best matchup. I feel like playing against Pedri is so annoying. Him and Busquets gotta be like the most, and maybe like Gundogan. I just feel like are the most annoying midfielders ever to go up against. Just like, half turn merchants. Some of them, like, don't really want a lot of touches on the ball. They're kinda like in Frankie De Jong too, like, kinda like those press proof. I cannot believe he didn't just square that ball. That was oh my goodness! Square the ball! Oh my wow. How have Algeria not scored? Dude, these guys pass the freaking ball, man. Why are they so selfish? This time, Maza actually passes the ball, thank goodness. I can't tell who that was. That's a great bit of skill to get the shot off in the box. I mean, clearly, like, a talented player, but the decision making is terrible there. I was just checking who didn't pass when he should too. I think it's Bunija is how you pronounce his name. Striker, been around for a while for Algeria. I think he scored the winner in 2019 in the final. I think that was him. I'm a weeb. I don't think I qualify, but I'm close. All right, chat. Chat, let me know. Do weebs love anime or do they love Japanese culture? Is it an anime exclusive thing or are they just obsessed with Japan? That's a great save by the goalkeeper. My God. That is so good. Russia has been banned for longer than Germany was for World War II. I mean, to be fair, the government was kind of like replaced after that, right? I mean, the guy was no longer around. I think of myself as a weeb, and I'm mostly an anime fan, not necessarily culture. Weebs are anime, but then Campos says probably Japan, and then Judge says it can be both, and then Eduardo says weeb in itself is a culture. But is it a love and obsession for all things Japan? Like if I love anime, but I think that Japanese music sucks and I don't like ramen and I don't really want to visit Japan, am I a weeb? If and I don't really care for, the Japanese national team, am I still a weeb if I love anime? Still counts. Okay. Still counts. Okay, because I think I like Japanese culture more than I like anime, but I do like anime. So I'm probably like at best a half weeb. I'm a half weeb, I think. You mean dweeb? That's funny. Just a great ball down for Burkina Faso. Here they go again. Here they go again. Good ball across. Totally trying to draw a penalty. Come on, bro. Don't be soft like that. Don't be soft like that. Just threw himself on the ground. I can't tell if I love Burkina Faso's uniform or hate it. I love DR Congo's and I love Angola's. So freaking fresh. If y'all want to give me something for Christmas, DR Congo. Cote d'Ivoire's is also a beautiful masterpiece. Kendrick or Drake? In terms of who I listen to, or in terms of who I think won the beef? Love how this is a conversation in an AFCON watch along. Weirdo says Tunisia are playing haram ball against Burkina Faso. Oh, then he corrected himself and said Algeria. Jacob, Tunisia and Algeria faced off right now. What do you think the score would be? I think Tunisia would win 2-1. The white Burkina Faso kid is better. I completely agree. That one's pretty sick. This one just looks like too Christmas tree for me. In terms of who won the beef, I think it was a minor victory for Kendrick. I think people hate Drake. And so like all the super edgy and like progressive girls who work at your local coffee shop, like they hated Drake no matter like what was going to happen. And so they all got on Instagram and said that Drake got slaughtered and Kendrick Lamar's the GOAT. You know, even though I'm pretty sure Drake revealed that Kendrick Lamar beat his wife. But I guess the baristas with purple hair, I guess, looked past that this time. They were willing to give Kendrick a one-time pass because he was battling Drake in this case. And the public was against him from the beginning. I think in terms of like disses, I think Drake did very well. Oh my gosh, this has to be a goal. I cannot believe that. How do you not keep that on target at least? Really good chance. Probably Algeria's like fourth best chance. Oh, that is not even close to on target, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was what's it called? It's not called the court of public opinion. Is it called that? In the court of public opinion, they already hated Drake. He was already condemned to death before a diss was even released. But people want to like Kendrick because they think that it makes them more intelligent or more cultured. It's like some sort of pseudo fake intelligence pandering is kind of how I would describe it. Like, bro, listen to Kendrick doesn't make you cool. It doesn't mean that you're enlightened. It's like, it doesn't matter. Listen to Drake also doesn't make you a playboy or a tool or an idiot. Like, that's not how music works. So it became much more of like a like a cultural war as well. You know, the woke awakened. I don't mean woke like politically. I mean like the awakened people like loved Kendrick from the beginning. I thought some of his disses were boring as shit listening to. I was like, okay. But I've said a lot. I used to have a hip hop channel. That's why I'm talking about this, because I used to drop videos on that channel talking about disses and beefs and all that stuff. And oh, that's a great intercept. Oh, this is a good play here. Ignoring the box. Dude, these Algerians don't pass. Like, these guys don't like each other, man. I'm fully convinced they do not like each other. Drake's a better lyricist than Drake. Yeah, that's true, but Drake is a very good lyricist. Like, people act like this guy doesn't have any bars. Have you guys listened to like modern rap recently? It's garbage. It's all like shooting people and pill popping, and it's just like so boring. Drake actually can talk about a lot of stuff. Kendrick is a better lyricist though, but Drake is a much better hit maker. It's not even close. See, I don't think that Kendrick Lamar 100% won the beef. I don't. I think that what he said was very damning towards Drake, and that's why I said it was a minor victory for Kendrick. But I think he took a lot of hits too. Just the public chooses to not listen to anything that Drake said about him. Also, it wasn't even Drake versus Kendrick. It was Drake versus the industry. He was dissing Metro Boomin, he was dissing Rick Ross, he was dissing The Weeknd, he was dissing A$AP Rocky. I mean, the fact that he took on basically everybody, and held his own, I don't think any other rapper could have done that. Maybe Kendrick could have held his own against the industry as well. I shouldn't say Drake's the only one who could do that, but certainly the only one who could do that while making a bop at the same time. I don't even know J. Cole could take on everybody like that. I don't know. A couple seconds ago, that was a pretty good chance for Burkina Faso. Isn't Drake the industry? No, I don't. Well, I think he's the biggest guy. He's the face, I would say, of the industry, but I just gave you the names that he went up against. I mean, we're talking about, oh my gosh, almost. Yeah, we're talking about some of the biggest names in rap. Could Eminem take on the industry? That'd be an interesting one. I certainly wouldn't want to get in a rap battle with Eminem, because he would definitely say some diabolical stuff. Maybe a hot take, though. I don't think Eminem has the pull to pull it off. He said some pretty horrible things about Mariah Carey, and from my perspective, in terms of cultural impact, nobody really cared that much. Meanwhile, Mariah Carey's diss track is like one of the bigger songs of like this, not one of the bigger, but probably top 150 song of the century. So I don't know. And this is what I mean. This is why like these beefs aren't technically fair, because I don't think the public would just swing behind Eminem like that. Even if Eminem won lyrically, which he probably would win lyrically. I just don't think he'd make a song that was like groovy enough or like radio friendly enough or different enough for people to be like, he won. Like Drake had like the hits with the disses. Kendrick had like I would say the uniqueness. I guess Not Like Us is kind of a that was the most radio friendly diss that he had. Anyways, Benacer is taking a freaking free kick here. Wasn't there a week when there was no hip hop track in the Billboard Top 40 for the first time since 1990? Well, that's because hip hop's fallen off, man. Hip hop has absolutely fallen off. The next wave, the new wave of rappers aren't really doing enough new stuff to kind of capture people's attention. And all the big names are still like in their mid to late 30s now, for the most part. All right, another corner for Burkina Faso here. Dodgers have adopted Not Like Us as their franchise dynasty theme song. Well, I don't watch baseball, so I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm sure Kendrick got some incredible royalties if that is true. If a professional sports team is using a song as like their walkout music or whatever. Why didn't you cover Group C and D in AFCON? Why didn't I cover it? Did I not cover it? Oh my gosh, that's a good chance. It's right at Lucas Zidane. Not really going to trouble him too much. It's a pretty calm header. Did I not cover? What do you mean did I not cover? Group C and Group D. Well, I did talk about these games. Yeah, I did talk about these games. I didn't talk about the Group C games, or I didn't talk about them yesterday because I didn't make a video, but I have been talking about them. You didn't review Nigeria versus Tunisia? Yeah, I didn't make a separate video for that, but that's because I didn't have time to film yesterday. I did watch the whole thing though. It was a great game. I was tweeting about it too, but I didn't have the time to sit down. I like this Jacob Creations. Tunisia would have conceded that header. Are you saying their goalkeeper sucks? Because I don't think he looks very good. Mumble rap has hurt rap music. I don't agree. I think other things have damaged rap a lot more. But let me not talk about rap anymore on this stream. Any underground recommendations that aren't Ken Carson recycles? I'm mostly trying to avoid lyric playing talking music with a beat behind it. Oh, that's a good ball in. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think like new artists that I've heard recently. Some of y'all told me to check out SD Kid. Pretty good gym music, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought that I would have any interest in Scouse rap, but apparently I do. Other like new, like really new guys. I don't know about new. But that's the one guy I can recall by name that I've listened to recently. Oh my goodness. Another good cross in the box, but it's just not there for Burkina Faso. Is South Africa being underrated? No. Spider, I see the rest of your comment. No, they're not. I don't think they're being underrated. I think nobody knows what to expect from them. So a lot of people think they absolutely suck, and others think that they're going to win the AFCON. There's too many different opinions for South Africa, which is why I encourage everybody to just watch them and form your own. Are you going to do Ivory Coast versus Cameroon? I am not. I'm going to take a break, and there are other things that I want to film today. Jack, have you ever been emo in your life? No, I've never been emo, but like when I was in middle school, like 6th grade, 7th grade, I mean, I was very much into like Linkin Park and like similar bands like that, All Time Low, things like, what was it, Metro Station. I don't know if I can name any others at the moment. Paramore, I guess. Breaking Benjamin. That's not really emo, but it may be a bit more like punkish. Probably had a punk phase, 3 Days Grace, things like that. But never emo. No. Burkina Faso just can't score goals. Yeah, man. I don't know. Too many TikTok rappers now. A lot of TikTokers. A lot of different TikTokers. Too many of all of them. What have the Mexicans been saying about South Africa so far? I don't think there's a ton of respect. I think my audience is a bit more cautious about the game, but in general, I don't think there's a ton of respect. Punk died way back in the 80s. Well, I was not alive for that. Only music I've been hearing is Japan music. What Japan music? Some Christian music and a little electronic. Well, I mean, that sounds like a pretty healthy, cool lineup that you got there. I'm pretty much like jazz music, either when I'm with the missus or if I'm doing work. Rap at the gym still for sure. And then like hard rock also kind of at the gym, or maybe if I'm just like doing chores or something, like cleaning up the house. Um, that's my vibe. And parties I still like rap and pop. I don't mind EDM at parties, but it's never been my favorite vibe. Remind me to send you some Arabic music. Dude, definitely send me some Arabic music. I would absolutely check that out. I've slowly been phasing out of K-pop. I never liked K-pop that much. I don't dislike it. I've never hated it. I've never loved it. It's just there. And they'll put it on in the back of restaurants and I'm like, I guess it sometimes it helps the vibe. Sometimes it doesn't match the decor though. It'll be like a fancy restaurant, but they'll have K-pop in the background. And I'm like, this is a little too like bubbly for your furniture and how your chairs look and how your waiters dress. It's kind of like clashing the vibe a little bit. Regardless of what happens to K-pop, the fact that the Koreans have one of the most popular genres of music in the world, despite the size of their country, is a huge dub. Their soft power is ridiculous. Great run there. I think that was Ben Taleb who carried it. Questionable pass by, yeah, Maza. I see the ceiling. I see the potential with this guy, but this he looks like a 2028 AFCON breakout guy. I'm not seeing it completely right now. Decision making, he looks like a young player. The skill is there, the potential is there, but I don't think the refinement is there. I forgot R&B existed. I don't really partake in that genre. Again, depending on the atmosphere, I don't mind if it's on. I don't dislike it. Really, the only music I dislike is kind of country music. I just really don't care for it. Oh my gosh, Tapsoba just drags it slightly wide. Oh, if Tapsoba would have just scored another equalizer, that'd have been crazy. He didn't really connect super well. I don't like K-pop because of their fans. Hmm. Sounds like the kind of sounds like the uh, dare I say the Haitian national team. Yeah, I got some crazy comments right now. Oh, gonna be another corner. Okay, 2 minutes left. Is this the worst game I've ever seen? No, but definitely not the most exciting either. Ball comes in. Oh my goodness, Burkina. Oh, it's right at Zidane. Yeah, Burkina Faso got this set piece, man. They are freaking scary. They are freaking scary from these. They're just not getting the power on these headers. They're right at the goalkeeper time and time again. Luca's not really had to make any diving saves. They're more reactions right in front of him. This is a good result for Algeria. The performance is solid. They have made good chances. They have created good chances, but are you into R&B? Not at all. Not at all. Feels like Algeria is the third best contender to claim their third AFCON. I'm not seeing top 3 from them. Not yet. I don't see top 3 right now. Costa Rica versus Honduras was 100% worse in this game. Dude, that was... I will never forget how bad that game was. I will never forget the pain of that game. Algeria is nothing insane so far. Agreed. It's solid. Oh, no. Gosh, I'm so glad, y'all, that I can actually play footy again, because having to watch this stuff, the more games I watch, the more I want to play. And when I was injured, it was like the worst feeling ever. Algeria 1, Burkina Faso 0. Interesting game. Let me look at the stats here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and part ways here, because I want to take a little bit of a break before Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire. So they do have Algeria as the team with the most expected goals. I think that's fair. I think Algeria were slightly better than Burkina Faso. I'd probably have man of the match. I'd probably have been Sibani as my man of the match for Algeria. I thought he was very good. Not the greatest Mahrez or Aït-Nouri appearances, but they did what they needed to do in important moments. I'm not super impressed with the Algerian midfield. I'm not really that impressed with the Burkina Faso midfield either. Yeah, I don't know. FotMob has Lucas Zidane as the man of the match. That's no, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. Although I'm sure that would be pasted all over FotMob in a second. Burkina Faso look like they don't have a goal scorer in the team, which is going to be a problem. They look like they kind of need to grind out some 1-0 penalties in the knockouts. And Algeria look like they could get beat by a team that's actually got some firepower, which I don't think they're going to face until, well, I guess Equatorial Guinea next game, right? But Algeria will probably rotate as well. I don't know. I think this game, in short, didn't move the needle for Algeria, really. Didn't really move the needle for Burkina Faso. I kind of see them just as I did walking into this game as like solid teams. I think Algeria has a higher ceiling, but it was not fantastic. And I'm looking at Yan Diomande warming up for Côte d'Ivoire right now. I will end the stream there, guys. I don't know when the next one will be. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning. I got to check the schedule. Let me check the schedule right now. Do we have any games that are like really going to matter? Let me see. Tomorrow's Angola, Egypt, but Egypt will probably rotate, so I don't know. Zimbabwe, South Africa could be really cool. That could be a cool stream. Zambia, Morocco. I won't be able to do that tomorrow. Not at that time. Tuesday, Tanzania, Tunisia. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might actually go live for that. That sounds really fun. And then the day after, I will be traveling, so I will not be able to do any of those games. And then we have the round of 16, guys, on Saturday. That's insane. That is insane. Yeah. But I will be dropping more AFCON recaps and whatnot. I'll probably drop one today. Guys, y'all were awesome in the stream. It felt good to be on here again. More content dropping soon on the channel. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Y'all are very much appreciated. I had a fun time. Even when the game was a little boring, the chat, y'all kept it interesting as always. So hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next